ambos. Fuck ambos. That's the first quote. So, came out with the metabolic syndrome and treatment options. So, like I said earlier, it's a combination of things like hypertension, increased waist circumference, etc. Waist circumference, ambos. Fuck you. And there's an increase in the waist circumference for more than 82 centimeters in girls and more than 103 centimeters in boys. Okay? No, not okay. And there's an impaired fasting glucose, meaning that it's around 6.2 to 7 in prediabetes, and insulin resistance is associated with triacylglycerol. Do you know what I mean? No, I don't. In fact, I don't know what you mean. And there is no direct connection to cholesterol. What? Really? There are abnormal lipid levels, meaning that an increase in the triacylglycerol of more than 1.7 millimoles per liter. You mean less than? So it should be the other way around. Yeah, because that's too little even. And decreased HDL of less than 1.3 millimoles for females and less than 1 for males. And the metabolic syndrome means that the person is at significant risk for coronary diseases, strokes, diabetes, and fatty liver, and several cancers. Okay? Yeah, sure. When you're sure, I don't like that word, man. Okay, anyways, metabolic syndromes means that the person is at a significant risk of coronary disease, strokes, diabetes, and fatty liver. Okay, and reducing these risks, both pharmacologically and with lifestyle changes, is very important. Pharmacological approach. So, what are some examples that you can remember right off the bat? So, right off the bat, I can think of something like exercise, reducing intake, eating more healthy, and if it's genetic problems, there's not much you can do about it. If it's syndromic or drug caused, then you can reduce those drugs. Also, if you have certain diabetes medications like metformin and glitazones, for hypertension, you can give ACE inhibitors, calcium channel blockers, etc. On the other hand, beta blockers will increase the insulin resistance and worsen diabetes. So like I said, some antihypertensive drugs, as I mentioned, can worsen obesity and diabetes. And yeah, beta blockers is like apparently one of those. Statins lowers LDL, niacin, fibrates, triglycerols. Yeah. And non-pharmacological approaches include things like Western diet. So Western diet is strongly associated with higher risk of metabolic syndrome, whereas when you have food that's a lot of dairy products, fish, whole grains, cereal grains, and yeah, obviously the risk of metabolic syndrome is reduced. However, still, if you eat too much of this crap, then you'll still get fat as fuck. Okay. Okay. Next question. Exercise is thought to be an important intervention, and the current recommendation is for patients to perform regular moderate intensity physical activity for at least 30 minutes continuously. It's continuously, but somewhere else it says it doesn't need to be continuously. Anyways, that's for at least 5 days per week, ideally 7 days per week, and maintaining long-term adherence, whatever that means. However, it's basically because it's fucking boring. People don't really like exercise. That's why they don't do it in the first place. And ended up in this place. So it's like reality. You're trying to solve reality, but reversing the pathogenesis. But instead, you're not trying to prevent it. You're trying to reverse it, which makes no sense because life you can't reverse everything. Not everything's reversible. Okay. is trying to prevent it, okay, or prevent worsening of it. Because if you stop the fat accumulation at the source, then gradually your metabolism is going to eat up your right. So nobody really thinks about the source. Go to the source, stop the source, okay, or start the source or whatever. Anyway, evidence suggests that excessive sitting and other behaviors that are low in activity and energy expenditure may trigger unique cellular responses. So, like I said, it's very important that you exercise, but like I said, it's a habitual thing, and you have to treat the habit and not the outcome, but the habit. Because the habit is what caused it in the first place. Like the thing like Warren song. The best song ever, but still, it's a song that talks about habits and it's important. Okay, next question. Treatment, diabetes mellitus, drugs like metformin, exercise. Same effect as insulin. So the same effect as injecting insulin. And if you have type 1 diabetes mellitus, and physical activity does not lead to an improvement in glycemic control, but has an effect on cardiovascular fitness and reduces risk of atherosclerosis. Great, that's great. You have a risk of atherosclerosis and is reducing it because diabetes can cause atherosclerosis, right? Through pathogenesis that I will not mention right now. Type 2, on the other hand, is casual therapy and weight loss. So type 1 is important for treatment of drug treatment because of the pancreas. There are many types of diabetes. I mean, gestational diabetes, type 1 diabetes, type 2, diabetes mellitus, adult MODY, so maturity onset diabetes of the young, or there's many different types of that. And it's usually due to certain genetic mutations, single gene mutations that cause this disease. I'm not really sure about the details there, but I should know apparently, but I don't. I'm sorry. Bye bye. Fail me if you want, but I don't think I deserve it. Um, First of all, I need to talk about Amboss. Those motherfuckers didn't tell me. Well, I didn't know. Again, that's your fault. Fuck you. Stop blaming everything on the goddamn student. Yeah, you're blaming it on the teachers. So we're blaming it on the student. Dude, stop copying me, you little piece of shit. I'm not copying you. I'm blaming you. I'm not copying you. Yeah, but that's what I do. I blame people, not you. That's bullshit. Man, that is bullshit, actually. I mean, yeah, I could say a lot of bullshit, but yeah, fuck you anyways. Frequency, ideally at the same hour every day, better compensation. What? Ideally at the same hours every day, better compensation. The hour before the application of insulin. Well, why are you mumbling, bro? I'm not mumbling. This is my voice. Okay. What's good exercise for diabetes? So what kind of risks can we have for diabetes? So many things. Hypoglycemia during exercise. Okay. So hypo, hypoglycemia during exercise. So high consumption of energy exercise. But what is so yeah. So you have to be careful of hypoglycemia during exercise. An increase in carb intake in the period for sports overuse. Yeah, so it needs to hypoglycemia in general is not good because it depletes the distribution. So let's say that the blood is the road and the hemoglobin and these red blood cells and all these things are trucks, okay, and cars and vehicles and airplanes. They transport these goods and so oh shit, I have a fucking headache. I need to eat something. Yeah, I'm cooking, bitch. I need to cook, motherfucker. Can you eat Amboss? No, I can't. Not like it was made to. Intake. Or I intake a fuck this. Hypoglycemia. Just mention hypoglycemia during the rest. Why am I recording? I don't know. or start the trial period after I use up to date, okay? Okay, so hypoglycemia during rest. What is hypoglycemia? So hypoglycemia basically means that you have low blood and it can't be distributed to places that need it the most. Glycogen gets consumed and and increased glycogen synthesis. The stock is added in the source. Wait, source of blood glucose, particularly for greater physical activity, then risk of hypoglycemia is 16 to 14 hours after the sport. You know what I mean? And carbohydrate supplements, no intramuscular injection prior to the exercise. What? 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 Okay, hyperglycemia, low insulin or insulin lowers glucose utilization within the muscle that intensifies hepatic gluconeogenesis, excess induced, has a very high intensity of exercise, okay? Not okay. What? Hyperglycemia. Low levels of insulin. Low levels of insulin, lower glucose. What? Intensified hepatic gluconeogenesis, you know what I mean? Nope. Intensified hepatic gluconeogenesis. Apparently, hyperglycemia is better than hypoglycemia. The principles of exercise diabetics. So you have to check the glucose before and after each exercise, in particular if the patient exercises for the first time or for a longer time. And control the levels of blood glucose before exercise if blood glucose over 50 millimoles per liter or below, and 5.5 millimoles per liter. Risky exercise. Eat 240 grams of carbs before every more intensive exercise. Exercise for longer than 60 minutes continuously recharges energy. Okay? Exercise for longer than 60 minutes continuously recharges energy. And drinking regime. Yeah, I don't know. So, drinking regimen every 20 minutes at 20 milliliters of liquids. Before injecting insulin. Yeah, because it promotes fucking, fuck this shit. I mean, eat 20 to 40 grams of carbohydrate before a more intensive exercise. Then absolute contraindication include advanced late complications of diabetes mellitus and glycemia of above 40 millimoles per liter will cause ketonuria because the glucose will be converted into ketone bodies. Why? Because there's no insulin to transport it to the so ketone bodies will instead try to become the energy source of the for the cells and causes ketosis. And if this will continue to get acidosis and may cause comas, consciousness disturbances, ketoacidosis, things like that. And glycemia of above 70 millimoles is just insane. Or it's not insane, but you can have problems without basically basically what basically without having ketosis. So that was that was that. We prefer combining endurance and strength training. So things like aerobic exercise, endurance improves the sensitivity of muscle cells towards insulin and decreases the blood glucose, which is great because um it decreases hyperglycemia. You can also perform some strength tests, which can create development of muscles, which is good for the muscles apparently. Insulin sensitivity improves. Capillaries will also increase. You know. hopefully we don't need amboss, and so we prefer combined endurance and strength training, meaning that the aerobic aerobic exercise endurance improves sensitivity. Okay, so I mentioned that it improves sensitivity, strengthening exercise, change in body composition. Also important, in favor of the muscles. Also, insulin sensitivity, you should mention improvement of muscle and capillaries. Contraindication, dynamic strength training, proliferative retinopathy activity with an increase in the blood pressure. For example, we can also talk about neuropathies and diabetic ketoacidosis. And diabetes mellitus on insulin, sports with dangers of hypoglycemia, not hyperglycemias. And also, if you have improvement with muscle mass or insulin sensitivity, then also these things should all be mentioned, right? It's just mentioning. It's all about mentioning. It's a presentation, okay? People are making fun of you. This Filipino guy was making fun of you. I was like, fucking, why are you still here? And he was trying to be polite and everything, but like, you know what I mean? It's kind of interesting though. Working in Honda product. I was like, whoa. Honda? You work at Honda? Jeez, why is Honda so goddamn international? Sucks being international. Primary prevention of hypertension. Treatments of mild hypertension and regular physical activity, brisk walking 30 minutes a day. And weight control. Well, Amboss is international, and you didn't get, so I guess it's not bad being international. Okay, fine, but I missed on it. Goddamn. I had all the opportunities. I guess chances are there to be taken, not to be fully given to you. Yeah, for sure. There to be prepared. Don't prepare. Limit alcohol intake, limit salt intake. All mine. Kanye song. All mine. I like that. Okay, so the next topic is the primary prevention of hypertension treatment. Mild hypertension. So what is mild hypertension? The regular physical exercise, brisk walk for 30 minutes per day. 30 minutes, I can actually walk a lot. Controlling the BMI, limiting alcohol intake and salt intake to 6 grams of sodium per day. 6 grams, not 8, not 25, not 100. 6. Consuming more vegetables. More vegetables. Low fat. Dairy products, that's animal fat. It's important. These are some things to take note, especially when you're talking about animal fat.